It's a blessing to welcome on a top 100 player in my opinion, and the newest member of Texas A&M, Wade Taylor. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Well, man, you announced it now. You're going to Texas A&M. Take us through your thoughts. What's it feel like?
It's unbelievable. It's a surreal feeling. It's definitely a blessing to be able to go to such a great school. SEC of course, and I'm ready to get started.
And you come out with the top five: Virginia Tech, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, SMU, and Texas A&M. What were these five schools? Why are these the five you chose?
All five of those schools was pretty much recruiting me since I was a freshman, and I just built certain bonds throughout those years, and I just feel like those five schools had pretty good opportunities for me. So that's what made them my top five.
You're narrowing this down with yourself, your family. Who was kind of in the final running? Was there another school you'd say would finish second or third for you?
Honestly, Oklahoma State and Virginia Tech was like they was tied for second. I mean, it was just so much that I liked about both schools. I mean, Oklahoma State, Coach Boyd, he recruited me so hard. I mean, he's my guy. Like he's unbelievable, and I just feel like I had to do what was best for me. But yeah, definitely, I love both of those coaches, Coach Young, Coach Frazier from Virginia Tech, Coach Boyd and Coach Sutton from Oklahoma State. Those guys did a great job recruiting me. I really appreciate that.
Oklahoma State's an interesting school. They haven't always been this hotspot for talent, and we see our past recruiting class: Cade Cunningham, Matt Alexander, Moncrief, Donovan Williams. The list goes on. Was that something that made them more appealing, seeing how much talent went there in 2020?
Oh yeah, I mean, I always was appealed to Oklahoma State, just their culture and how much it's a college city. They love basketball, they love football. And it was just every time I went down there, I mean, it was just love showing to me, regardless if I was coming or not. So yeah, their recruiting class played a part too. I mean, Coach Mike, he does a great job recruiting. He just shows how much he loved the players that played. That's nice.
There had to be a separating factor for Texas A&M. What was that? Why were they the school you chose over everyone else?
Coach Buzz, he's a different breed. I mean, if you ever been recruited by Coach Buzz, you know how if he wants you, he's gonna get you because he approaches the game and he approaches life just so differently. I mean, we look at things, we usually talk about life more than about basketball, and it's just it the culture apparently stood out. So I just feel like that was the best choice.
And that is something we always have heard about Coach Buzz. It's not just about basketball. He's a guy that talks about family. He's investing in the community. He's an overall great person. Seeing that aspect of him, seeing what he does off the court, the family atmosphere, what was that like being around?
It was great. I mean, I'm definitely a family person. My family they come to almost every game, and seeing Coach Buzz, show love to his family a lot, really helped, and show how he will, love my family like he loved his, and that played a big part too.
And this hasn't been the typical recruiting year. We know COVID and all the effects it's had, but you're on these Zoom calls with all these coaches. What are the questions you're asking all these coaches? What was going down in them?
It was definitely um weird territory. I mean, no one was used to this, So just going through those Zooms, I was just trying to get the best out of the coaches, because they're uncomfortable too. They're not used to doing the Zoom, so I just want to try to see how they look on things and how I can fit into their system and how they present, their PowerPoints or whatever to me to make it feel like I'm the best person for their system or their school.
I can imagine you had some specific questions you really want to make sure coaches and colleges had. What were some of the things you were looking for in college?
Somewhere I can go in, play, get some, be a big contributor as a freshman, work my way onto, how getting nice minutes, being able to contribute early. Of course, great academics and just, somewhere I can be at home where I'm not at home, somewhere I feel loved and, just a great school atmosphere, somewhere I can enjoy it whenever I'm done playing basketball. I can go back and just enjoy the life of that college.
So with A&M, there's some obviously a lot of positives you already talked about. What were some of the questions? Were there any things you had some kind of concerns for during this recruiting process that Coach Buzz kind of helped answer for you?
No, I mean, I just felt like only concern was just, of that's every concern of every player though, where the coach be there that's recruiting you. So I just feel
Mhm.
like, Coach Buzz, he done a great job last year, getting those kids that he had, turning the program around. So I feel like he was pretty much, he's in a good place, and I feel like that's a good thing. So that was probably the only concern I had.
With A&M, there are a lot of guards out there. You got one in your class that's something special in Manny. We'll talk about him in a second. But this other class, you have Jackson Robinson, more shooting guard, small forward. You have Hassan. A lot of just overall great guys at the guard position. How do you compete out there? How do you kind of plan to get your rotation spot next year?
I mean, that's the good thing about life, going in and compete. I mean, those guys are good, so I know that I'll make them better and they make me better. So I'm just ready to go in. I'm of course compete as hard as I can, and see where that comes out.
Let's discuss Manny. He's a guy that's a top 25 guy, 5-star player. How excited to be able to play with him in a year?
That's my guy, man. Manny probably recruited me harder than Coach Buzz did. I mean, it was almost every other day. Manny was, "What you gonna do, bro? Come with me, man. We trying to build something." I just look. I mean, I looked into that and was like, man, I can really see myself playing with Manny. Another high profile guard, and I just feel like we can play great off each other, and I'm ready to see how it works.
And there's a lot of guys that become kind of the face of the team. We usually the guys that commit first. In this case, it is Manny as the first guy to commit. Him as a recruiter, what's the things he's telling you? What's he like as a recruiter?
Man, he's a college coach. I mean, like I said, he texted me almost every other day, man. He was saying how they was building something special and how like I could come in and help him impact as a freshman and just seeing each other grow up into the people we are today, man. He talked about that too, just being brothers and helping each other through this process and just saying how we could do something special in College Station.
If you could grade him out of 10, how would you grade his recruiting style?
Oh, he's a 10. He's definitely a 10, man. He was phenomenal. I mean, look at me where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
He was phenomenal. He was phenomenal.
If basketball doesn't pan out for him, do you see him becoming a coach someday?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Originally, this dynamic duo was going to be him and Jackson. Jackson reclassed now, and you guys are going to be able to play with him as well. Now, you guys have this dynamic duo at the guard position for the 2021 class. What are you guys going to be able to accomplish together?
I feel like we'll be able to accomplish a lot. I mean, I'm talking, NCAA championships. I just feel like the way both of us play, we're just hard to guard. We're both dogs on defense, so I feel like that's going to travel a long way.
And when you look at this overall core group, we talk about the guard, and it's going to be a lot of guys out there, but it's going to be a lot of depth. There's not many teams when you look at guys' junior, senior seasons that will have that much talent. We talk about Hassan, we talk about Jackson, you, Manny. What are you guys going to be able to accomplish together when you guys get out there?
When we get, I mean, everybody's everything you said about those people. I mean, everybody's unselfish, so I feel like we'll be able to accomplish a lot. Everybody want to see each other eat. We can work hard together, make each other better, and getting better every day leads to championship. So we'll just see where that takes us.
Other guys in 2021, you guys targeting anyone else? Who else would you like to bring along with you?
We was targeting Alex, but he committed to LSU. But we're targeting right now Asher Smith out of Houston. He goes to Lacey School, and I feel like we have a real good chance of getting him. If we get him, I feel like we'll be complete for what we need in 2021 class. So y'all be on the lookout.
Now, 2022, it's already coming out where these guys will start heavily going into the recruiting process now. Are there any targets you guys had that you personally like to have come out with you in 2022?
It's a lot of I'm close with a lot of guys in 2022. Keontae, Kaysen, Anthony, Austin, a lot of those guys. So I just feel like we'll let this season play on, and we can get down there. We can see where everything, all the chips fall, and then we'll look into those guys a little bit more to see who can fit best in our program and who can help us.
And you guys are in Texas, which is a state that has always produced a lot of good basketball talent. But I do think 2022, they might have the best class in 2022 in the entire country. You mentioned Keontae George, Cason Wallace. All these guys are elite players. And you and Manny are both guys that are super sociable, guys that know pretty much everyone in the state. How will that impact potential recruits down the road?
Oh, I feel like that would impact a lot. I mean, we have, a lot of say so in the city. People listen to us because, we've seen it all, we've did it all, and, we're respectful young men. So I feel like us, recruit. I mean, I see how many recruits, and I just feel like with us, knowing and building a great relationship with them will really help down the line.
Without a doubt. So you'll be playing the SEC, one of the best conferences in the country. It's going to be a hard conference as well. How excited to be part of that?
It feels amazing. I mean, I can't explain it enough. I mean, it's like Texas A&M is the only ACC school in Texas. So when conference comes, I mean, you have to get on the plane to go play. You got to go out the state. And I just feel like that's just a blessing, being able to travel the country and play against some of the best schools night in, night out. I mean, you play Kentucky one night and then play Auburn. It's just a blessing.
Out of the SEC schools, who are you most excited to go play against?
For sure, Kentucky. I mean, I know Kentucky would be live. Kentucky, Florida, Auburn, of course. Arkansas, they're on the rise. I just feel like all those schools, with the stadiums that's will be packed out. I mean, I'm glad to go play those schools.
Manny is a five-star. We discussed that, but you're a guy that's underrated still. Not anyone has you in the top 100 as you should be. How does that put a chip on your shoulder, and how are you planning to be able to prevail through that and eventually become the top player that we all know you can become?
I don't really look at it like, I don't look at it like that. Rankings, it is what it is, but I know what I can do on the court, and I know what I've done to some of the people that's ranked in front of me, but I don't really look at it like that. I just continue to work hard. God has big plans for me, so I'm just going to leave it all to him, man. Whatever he takes me, that's what I'm going to follow.
Amen, man. In this past season, let's talk about this past year at Lancaster. You guys had a solid season. Unfortunately, got cut down because of COVID. You guys still are called state champions, though. What would you say was some of your biggest takeaways from the past year?
Um, Man, we had the season was just great. Of course that you can't take anything for granted. You have to enjoy the moment. Being crowned champions was probably the best thing that happened so far. We worked for that, and I just feel like this year we got to come back even harder to write our story and show that why we belong down there and why we're Lancaster. So I just feel like last year was just a stepping stone to get better, get even better this year and show what we can really do.
You guys finished 36-1, and it's not like you guys were playing easy teams. You look at the schedule: St. Mark's, Harrison, and Ingram. You got Colin Smith. You got a lot of guys out there. Noah Shelby. You go down this list. You guys are playing some of the best teams out in there. Duncanville. The one loss came against Prolific Prep, which we know is a team that went to Geico. What was it like competing in that game and just competing against all these big time teams across the season?
It was amazing. It was great. Every game was packed. You have to bring it every night. You're playing high level guys, and if you don't bring it, they can embarrass you. And I just feel like with us, how hard we practice, we was always prepared because we're playing against the best team in practice against each other. So I just feel like when we came to the games, we were so tight, we were just so in tune that we was ready for anything.
That Prolific Prep goes down. You guys are clearly the underdogs heading into there. They have two McDonald's All-Americans, all their players. You, Mike, step up. You guys still compete. You guys still play your game. What was that like, and how do you guys go into a game where you guys are clear the underdogs?
Like I said, we know what we can do. Of course, they're gonna have the hype because they have the 5 stars and all that. But we just went out there and played our game. They're a prep school and they play a little different than regular schools do, public schools. But we know like Lancaster, we're turning into a mini college. We're good year in year out. So I just feel like with our talent and what we had, we was ready for anything.
There will be a big piece leaving this past season, and that's Mike heading up to TCU now. How do you guys plan to fill his shoes, and also who else is going to step up to kind of fill his shoe?
Oh man, we look real solid right now. We're young, but we have some dogs. We're everybody's hungry. We have a transfer in Elijah Huey from West Mesquite. He's committed to West Kentucky. We have a 2022 point guard, Dorian Goodman. He transferred in too. He's ready. We have a 6'8" forward, Kalen White. He's ready too. So I feel like we be ready.
And you've been able to separate this because we see you. We keep talking about your dog mentality, and you clearly have that. You don't really have all the lasting smiles on the court, but once you get off that, you're the most sociable guy. You're talking to everyone. How have you learned to balance that and separate the two kind of personalities of you?
It's just a blessing. I just try to be a friendly face. Show them that you have to enjoy life because you don't take it for granted because you never know when you can be taken away. So I just feel like on the court it's all about business, but when off the court, hey, I'm just a teenager right here trying to live life.
So you averaged 21 a game last year, near 5 assists a game. What's the next level for you? Where do you kind of plan to average next season?
Whatever I need to average to win the game, man. Hey, whatever I gotta do that game, if I gotta average 10 and 10 rebounds to win the game, then I'll do that. But whatever coach needs me to do, I'll do it.
We mentioned being in Texas, and that is one of the best states in the entire country. What's it like competing against out there with all the talent in Texas?
It's great. You get better every day. There's so many guys in Texas that are dogs and that can hoop. I feel like Texas breeds the best basketball players because we've been through things. We work hard every day. We even work out with each other. To get each other better. So I just feel like Texas has a lot of great players and people to see why we on top soon.
What would you say was your favorite game of last season?
Um, Probably the game against Kimmel in the regional finals to go to the state. I feel like that was probably the best game of the year because it meant so much to us.
And take us to that game. You prepare for that. You know it's a big game. What goes through your mind? How do you guys prepare as a team for that?
We woke up that morning. We had a great breakfast, and we just talked as amongst each other and just went over our game plan, what we needed to do. We had to play hard defense. Limited to one shot. Just play as hard as we could, and we knew that I mean, everything else to take care of itself. Defense was first, and we took off and we won that game.
Personally, one-on-one matchups, you guys play some of the best players in the country. Who is your personal favorite guy to match up against in the state?
Um, that's a good one. Probably we played Duncanville, and it's this kid named Brian Hill. He goes to Western Texas, and we're real close friends, and that was a great matchup every time we play each other because we push each other so much to be hard, to be better and everything. So I just feel like that was one of the best matchups ever.
Look at 2021 now. If you're putting together a roster, 8, 9 guys, who's on that roster from guys out of Texas?
Ooh, okay, me, Manny, Harrison, Duncan Powell, Jalen Tyson, Emo Essence, Chris Dunn Morgan, and Damon Nicholas.
For sure. A couple of those guys are guys that are pretty underrated. One of them I want to touch up on is Duncan Powell. He's a guy that is taking an interesting route. He's put his top 5 out there. We know he's going to go HBCU, mid-major. He's going to go kind of start this new era. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's about what fits you best, and I feel like the route Duncan taking is the best route for him and what he needs to do to to excel in life. So I'm just gonna be there for him, and just be happy for him and tell him that he's doing a real good job.
I know you also have a pretty close friend group. CJ's a part of that. You guys are really close.
Oh yeah, CJ too. I forgot CJ. That's what I forgot. CJ Nolan, of course, he got to be on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
And kind of discuss your guys' relationship. I know you guys are super close. You're with him when you commit. What was you guys bond like, and how'd that first start?
Me and CJ, we literally grew up together. I mean, I've been knowing CJ since I've been about maybe 6 or 7. We just seen each other grow up to these great young men we are today, and it's just a blessing being with somebody, knowing somebody that long, and just being able to watch somebody grow like that. I mean, he's my brother. I love him for life, and I'm just happy, that we're blessed to be in this position that we are today. I mean, hey, and it's only up from here.
I think that's the coolest stories. You guys grew up as kids, dreaming of playing college, and now, in a year from now, you guys both will be in college, playing high major at 2 big-time schools. You look back at that. You guys tell yourselves that 10 years ago. What would you guys have said to each other?
Man, we was so young. We would have said we was probably just joking about it because we didn't know how serious it really got. All we was thinking about then was just playing video games and just having recess and stuff like that. But I just feel like we both family, big on family. So I just feel like making our family proud was one thing we definitely talked about.
When would you have said that you kind of clicked for you? When did you start realizing that you could become the elite player that can go high major? When was that turning point for you?
Going from 8th grade going into high school when I was getting when a lot of high school coaches was, contacting me about going to the high school, I feel like I knew that, I could be that person, that schools wanted, that I could, be the main person or somebody who contribute to a well-known high school and just be the player that I knew I was always destined to be.
You mentioned the whole group of guys that the guys in Texas. Whenever the days come and you possibly match up against each other, what would those games be like matching up against guys that you kind of grew up with?
Man, it's gonna be great. I mean, of course we're gonna play on the court. We're gonna play as hard. We're definitely gonna try to beat each other so we can brag about it after the game. But man, on the court we're enemies, but off the court, man, we're family. So I'm just excited to see everybody's growth and just ready to match up with everybody and see how the game goes.
Being in Texas, you guys got to have AAU season a lot more than I think any other state really did. Maybe Georgia as well. What was that just getting back on the court though and playing some games?
I mean, it was amazing. I mean, I thank God for giving us that little bit of opportunity to enjoy our little bit of last AAU summer. I mean, I cherished it to the most. And it was just amazing. My Southern Assault brothers, we bonded so close, all of them. And I just, I love them. I was just happy we got to play a little bit.
And that's some of your guys' first games playing. I knew you guys were good. A few guys kind of knew you and Harris, all you guys were good, but you came out there and you put on a show and people started realizing that you've always been kind of playing up. This was your first time playing your age and you dominated. What if they just started to get that credit that you deserve?
I mean, it was kind of heartwarming. I finally some of my work that I've been putting in, shows, and I mean that's true. I mean, I did my first time playing 17U at my actual grade this year, so I mean it was just fun. Continuing to kill and do the best I could do. It was just amazing. It was fun.
We hear some guys take that route. Why'd you decide to always play up?
I mean, I just feel like Coach Jazz, rest in peace. He put me on that platform early to be great and to show me that that I could do it. And ever since then, I mean, I feel like I was able to handle it. It was just the best thing for me.
You mentioned the guys on that roster, Harrison, a lot of big time players out there. What were you guys going to be able to accomplish if there was a full AAU season?
If it was a full AAU season, I'm calling it, we would have won these going. I mean, we had a complete solid team, everything. We had shooters, bigs, lockdown defenders. We had everything. I feel like the sky was the limit for our team.
Absolutely, man. Well, a few more things before I let you go. One is discussing legacy. That's awesome. I like wrapping up with. And when you are done playing basketball someday, what do you want remembered for? What do you want your legacy to be for to achieve both on and off the court?
The guy that always worked hard, definitely family first, God first, just a respectful young man who always gave 100%, 110%, and just, went hard about everything, approached life differently and just wanted the best for everybody and himself.
I know you're also a believer. Take us through your faith and how it's grown over the past few years.
It's grown tremendously. I mean, I got baptized maybe 4 months ago, and that was the best decision I could have made in my life. I know. Ever since then, I just got closer and closer with God, and He's blessed me so much, and I'm just thankful to be in this position I am today. And I'm just ready to see what He has in store for me in the future.
A lot of non-believers probably don't believe that. They don't understand the whole baptism thing. And that is something that's huge. I mean, that's a big day for any believer, even bigger than commitment days and all that. How significant was that for you, and why did you decide that was the time to get baptized?
It was amazing. I had my family. It was during COVID, but I still was
Mhm.
able to have some of my family in there with me to go through the whole process. And I mean, I feel like it was just time to give my life to God because of all the things He blessed me with. I just wanted to give Him thanks and show my respect.
I think there's always that turning point. Growing up in a family of believers, you're always kind of not necessarily forced into, but just kind of grow up rooted in it. When was that turning point? When did you realize that you really started your own relationship with God and you really started investing in your own personal relationship with Him?
When I really started, getting known in the basketball world and taking off with the college and going through so many things, with the recruiting process and the high school, just everything, even with family, just going through different trials and tribulations. And I just, I always talk to God about it. I feel like it was time, to go ahead and make it official and lock it in.
Absolutely, man. Now going forward, you have your college career, hopefully a pro career after that. How do you plan to continue to spread God's light?
I just, just continue to just, tell, just, show my respect, of course, and then just continue to work hard and just pray and, just give him thanks to all of him and just, continue to be the best player that I can, the best young man that I can, and just, continue to work hard.
Absolutely, man. My final thing for you, get Texas A&M fans your biggest goal you have set now for your Texas A&M career.
Oh, as soon as, as long as I'm there, however long I'm there, win an NCAA championship for sure.
No doubt, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today. Congrats on the commitment, man, and go do your thing
Yeah.
this upcoming season. Of
Appreciate you, my guy.
course, you're always welcome on, man. God bless.
You too.